Good morning. Good morning, 10:20 a.m. How are you? Let me know how you're feeling. I know it's not the end of the world. We're just going to talk about um, how to prepare, right? So let's get right into it. Good morning. Good morning. How you feeling? I know it's early, but we just have to get right into it. We don't have time to be wasting around. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Good morning, Olankule Jempeji. How are you? How are you this morning? Let me know in the comment. How are you this morning? Yeah, very disappointing morning, but we have to get right into it. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? How are you feeling this morning? Hello, welcome to this live session. I was supposed to be here at 6 p.m. because, we were expecting something else, but we got surprised. So we just have to get right into it and start talking about the plans. And then we just have to strategize on how we're going to move forward. Okay. So a lot of you know already that we have survived. We've already been on the Trump presidency. Okay. So it's not like it's new. Um, that's why we just have to be prepared accordingly. First, by knowing what is his plan. When it comes to immigration, what is Trump plan? And is it even realistic what he's trying to accomplish? We're going to talk about it, and then we're going to talk about what exactly can a person do under his presidency. We have to talk about it because we're already in it. Okay. Yeah, let me know in the comments how you're feeling. If you have a question, just put it in the comment. We're gonna go over the immigration plan for Trump. Donald Trump has returned. Everybody's aware of it. Back to power. And starting January 2025, Trump is back to power. Meanwhile, what can you do? And once Trump start leading again next year, how can you basically prepare and how can you be ahead? Okay. So first of all, we have to know what is his plan exactly. And then based on that, we can strategize and give practical tips because we've been under Trump before. Okay. We've been under Trump before. So we have to basically know how to deal with that. That's all we can do at this point because it's already done. Okay. I feel sick and sad. Yeah, we all feel sick and sad. I was supposed to be here at 6 p.m. because we were supposed to be celebrating at 6 p.m. But it's just what it is at this point. Let's just get right into it. Okay, let me share my screen. We're gonna talk about his plan and we're gonna talk about practical tips. Okay. Yes, this is what Donald Trump win means for immigration. This is time, politics, and immigration. Donald Trump was elected, okay? He's a president-elect. He's going to be in power starting next year, January 20th, okay? But what is his plan? First of all, he want to deport, mass deportation. Trump made plans for mass deportation of undocumented immigrants a central feature of his immigration discussion ahead of securing his second term. Ahead of securing his second term, he said he's just going to do mass deportation. Okay, he has an ambition to carry out what he called the largest domestic deportation operation in American history. So he's coming for undocumented people. he's just want to deport. But is it even practical in terms of logistically? Is it really possible? Okay, that's what we're gonna discuss. That could mean a year-long effort to remove an estimated 11 million who are in the country without authorization. The Trump administration aims to leverage expedited removal. They're gonna leverage on expedited removal process. Expedited removal for the people who are not aware. That's when they at the board of entry they will expedite your case, and if you don't meet the credible fear of persecution, it's just like you get deported, like right, like the authority of immigration officer to basically decide on the case, okay, without even proper hearings, basically. That's how expedited removal works, okay. And then he said he's going to be using the military for immigration. Trump's proposal to use the military for immigration enforcement marks a significant escalation in the federal government approach to undocumented immigrants. Basically, he's going to be invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 and the Insurrection Act. He planned to deploy federal troops to assist in apprehending migrants at the southern border. So basically, at the border, port of entry, people who come to apply for asylum, he's just gonna right there deploy a lot of military so to prevent the flux of migrants. So that's one of his plan. Okay. Workplace raid. Okay. He says that at the workplace, that's where they're going to detect people who do not have documents. But that's what they did, really. That's what they're trying to do in Texas right now. If a person who's undocumented is trying to go get medical care, they have to inquire about the status. So those type of states, if you live in those type of states like Texas and you don't have a work permit and you don't have any document, at some point you just have to leave that state, because right now it's pretty much a breaking news at this point. If you go to the hospital, they have to inquire about your status, your legal status, and that's how they're going to report. Basically, a second-term administration plan to expand the workplace raid as a method of identifying and apprehending undocumented immigrants. So they're basically going to go in the workplace to start looking at who's working without a work permit, stuff like that. Expanding the border wall, that we know he was trying to do it during his first presidency too. Returning to the Remain in Mexico policy. This is a policy where a person at the border, when they ask for asylum under Trump administration back in the days, you will stay in Mexico until your case is adjudicated. Once you win asylum, then you get in. And then when Biden came to power, they stopped with that plan. But now, if he comes to power, back to power, he's going to do that. So he's gonna restore Remain in Mexico policy. Again, more border patrol agent. Basically, just at the port of entry, a lot of patrol agents and stuff like that. That's when somebody was asking about advanced parole traveling and stuff like that. When the case is pending, especially when the asylum case is pending. At this point, when Trump is in power, just don't do it. Really, just wait for the asylum application to be granted, because really it's just going to be a little bit hard, and the moods of people change too. At the port of entry, the CBP, the mood change. Okay, they have a lot of discretion to start with, but now that they know the regulations and the policy will change, so their mood will change too. So basically, you just have to be wise when it comes to a decision of traveling when the case is pending. Ending birthright citizenship. This one, it's going to be a little complicated because it has to go past through Congress, right? what he's saying, that he promised to issue an executive order ending the long-standing constitutional principle that children born in the U.S. are granted citizenship. Trump said he will instruct federal agencies to require that any child born in the U.S. have at least one parent who is a lawful permanent resident or citizen before they can issue a passport or social security number. This one, it's going to be a little bit hard. What he's trying to say is that if one parent is a lawful permanent resident or U.S. citizen, then yes. If a child is born from that type of parent, then yes, the child will have a U.S. citizenship. But if both parents are not within a lawful status, like they're not a lawful permanent resident or they're not a U.S. citizen, they cannot be issued. What about if the person is a student? That's a lawful status. So this one is going to be a little bit challenging. It's going to be challenging in court. So basically, we're going back to litigation type of government. It's going to be a litigated state of immigration. That's it. Then he's going to screening for immigrants based on their ideology. In terms of, if you want to get a visa, they'll ask you a lot of questions to find out what is your thinking, as your views on politics and stuff like that, your ideologies, before they grant you any type of visa. So I'm gonna stop here at this point. Let me go back. So basically, that's what he's trying to say. But practically, is it going to be possible for him to do a lot of things? A lot of things he's going to be doing it through executive orders. But executive orders can always be challenged in court. So we will have a lot of litigations going on moving forward. So what exactly can a person do? What we suggest that a person do is, first of all, to stay out of trouble. Because we have people where they will be driving and drinking, in terms of like they already got 1 beer, 2 beer, and they keep driving. Then you get arrested, in terms of you get stopped by police. Then that's when they inquire about your status, your driver license, and all that. Those are the things that anybody can avoid, basically, right? Being at the wrong time, at the wrong place, those are the things to avoid. Another thing to avoid is, if you don't have a valid claim, don't file, because once a claim gets denied, the person finds themselves in removal proceedings. Usually people used to just file for the sake of filing, sorry, so they can get a work permit. But if the case is not valid, you're gonna find yourself in removal proceedings. And under Trump, really, remember under Trump we had a no tolerance type of policy, where they separated children in Texas. Remember back in the days when they separated children in Texas, children, because they were, I guess, U.S. citizen children, they stayed, and the parents were undocumented, they had to leave. It was a mess. Remember that back in the days when Trump was in power. So that's why we're saying that if the claim is not valid, don't file it. But if you have a valid claim, and you're willing to file, this is the time to do it. This is the time to do it. Even prosecutorial discretion is still valid until January 2020. So, and they're responding within 2 weeks, right? Especially here in Baltimore area. This is the time to file for it. Let me take questions first. Very sad. God help us for the next 4 years. Yes, that's what we yeah, it's gonna be stressful for everybody, right? Don't think it's just you. Everybody's gonna be stressed out. Mixed family. We have people who have spouses who are U.S. citizen, children are U.S. citizen, and then their other spouse are not. So it's going to be stressful for those families as well. We call those family mixed family. It's gonna be stressful for the immigration lawyers to keep up with all those new policies and stuff like that. It's going to be stressful for the person who has a case pending. But we just have to control and be patient, and and act accordingly. United States of Amnesia. Yeah, to be honest, really, I know what you mean. Really, if you're not, if you're a non-citizen, you need to be deported. I don't know who this person is, but let let block him. Yeah, we had to block those people because we are not playing. Oh, my family has been in the southwestern United States since it became part of the US, but I fear we may have another. Yeah, with this guy, really anything is possible. With this guy, really anything is possible. Yeah, I'm so sick. I don't understand what. Yeah, to be honest, me either. I was like shocked because I was following it in the middle of the night. To be honest, I didn't even sleep. I was following it in the middle of the night. I was shocked. Like I was just like, wow. That's why I just came in the morning because I was like, you know what? I'm so shocked. I don't know if I'm gonna have the courage to be here at 6. So let me just do this live and be over it. Okay. Yeah, but people just voted for him. Okay, give us tips on what to do to protect yourself during the next 4 years. Okay. First thing first, driving under influence of alcohol, going to parties. Because what happened to other people is they find themselves in the wrong place at the wrong time. Let's say you go to a party, and after that, people start drinking, and they start fighting. And what usually happens is that they'll call the police. And when the police gets there, they start looking at everybody's document, why you're here, what is happening here. That's how other people got deported back in the days, just because they were at the wrong place at the wrong time. Okay. I had a person who was working, um, you know, working without a valid work permit, right? And then what happened is at the job where the person was working, they start fighting. They got into assault with another co-worker got into a fight with another co-worker. Then the police was called. And when the police came, they start controlling everybody. And when they start controlling everybody, he happened to be working, not doing anything bad, just working. But because he was a student and working without authorization, he got deported, and now he's banned for 5 years. I guess his 5 years is going to be up next year because he was banned back maybe in 2026. Okay. The first thing first is do not be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Avoid parties because usually at the party, people drink a lot and they start fighting, and the police is going to be called once people get into a fight. And that's how they start controlling if somebody has no document. If the person has a case pending, that's understandable because you still have your date of hearing. But if the person has already been ordered removed, find themselves in a fight, they're just going to accelerate the deportation. You see? Oh, that's number one. Number two, if a person does not have a valid claim, do not file anything if you do not have a valid claim. But if you have a valid claim, this is the time to file. This is the time to really have a consultation and file your valid claim so that you will have a case pending. Okay. Um, and in terms of work, if the job is taking everybody, Because some jobs, for example, they can take anybody regardless of their uh, situation as far as the document is concerned. But some jobs, you already know they do control. Those are the jobs to avoid. Can pending asylum with work authorization be okay? Can a pending the asylum is pending? Yeah, if the asylum is pending, the case is pending, they haven't called you yet. So you're still working because you have a valid work permit and they haven't called you, you're still authorized to stay. You're not in legal, the person is not in legal status, but they're authorized to stay while the case is pending until the final decision. So that person has no problem. The problem gets there if the person gets in trouble with the law, with the police, you know, if the person gets maybe into robbery, assault, drinking drinking, drunk, driving, drinking and driving, those DUI type of thing, violence, domestic violence, the thing that will require another person to call the police on them, domestic violence, those are the things to avoid, drinking and driving, assault, fighting with people. They can call the police because, you know, assault, it's a crime. Just to avoid the things that will lead another individual to call the police on you. Like in short, being in trouble with the law. Just avoid trouble with the law. That's it. Um, that's what we can say. Okay. How can fast track pending application, which was based on creative domestic violence I received? How to fast track expedite request, because you already divorced, now it's pending. You should just try expedite request. Try expedite request with the congressman. Try expedite request with the ombudsman office. If you suffer, let's say you suffer emotional distress, you have to get a mental evaluation, psychological evaluation. That will, it's not guaranteed, but that can help expedite your case when you file your expedite request. Those are the reasons you can give, maybe medical reason. That's why you want your case to be expedited. Because you have to have a reason as to why you will expedite your case. Humanitarian reasons, sickness, those type of reasons can help expedite your case. Those are the only two reasons you can do. You can try, or you can file a mandamus lawsuit if the case is taking too long. How long the case, if the, let's say the case has been pending for 5 years, you can file a mandamus lawsuit to get the case resolved, you know. Let me see on Instagram if people have questions here. Yeah, we don't have questions on Instagram. So let me go back to YouTube. I never thought a second the Kamala will win. Really? Yeah, let me start blocking people. Let me start blocking people because we don't need this type of energy, okay? Please remove. Yeah, I already removed him. Yeah, because I don't have time for nonsense, okay? I don't have time for nonsense. I already removed him. Don't worry about him. Anybody that comes with those type of comments, I'm removing them right away. I don't have time for nonsense. Hello, how are you doing? Hi, Modesta. How are you? A long time. How are you feeling this lovely morning? It's really bad morning, but we're here. We just have to re-strategize and stuff like that, talking about what exactly people can do. Yeah, I know. It looks nice weather-wise, but not nice political-wise. Yeah, we're here. Yeah, Chris White, the land belongs to the creator. Yeah, we already shout. Don't worry about him. I already blocked him. He can go somewhere else. Holland West. Next time, maybe a primary. Yeah, to be honest, maybe they should have done it. Maybe to come up with some better candidates. I don't know. You know, while pending for I-7 and divorce, can I remarry? No, unless you basically you cannot, because unless you withdraw that case and get married to another U.S. citizen person to start a new case, but you cannot remarry and hope that the I-751 is going to be adjudicated. No, it's just going to be denied because you got married to another person. Yeah, no, the answer is simply no. What else we have here? I'll wait then. Yeah, it's better to wait. Try to expedite request and see if it's gonna work. And depending on how long the case has been pending, too, you can file a mandamus lawsuit. If the case has been pending for, let's say, more than 4 years, you can file a mandamus lawsuit to get it resolved. Yeah, that's one of the other solution too. Yeah, everybody's coming with nonsense comments. I'm removing them right away. I don't have time for nonsense. We're here to fight. So a lot of people, they work, they pay the taxes. So we're here to fight. And the law allow people to apply for asylum anyway. So it's lawful to apply for asylum if you have a valid claim. So I don't see a problem. Asylum is part of the immigration law. Can I file for my kids in the as a green card holder who are in the US? Well, the thing is the kids what's going to happen is failure to maintain lawful status, so they cannot adjust status. What you Yeah, usually what people will do is they will file I-130 because it takes forever, and then by the time I-130 get approved, maybe you might become a U.S. citizen. So then you can then once you become a U.S. citizen, then you can adjust status. They can adjust status because now it's gonna change category. But as far as if the question is, are they going to be able to adjust status? The answer is no, because of failure to maintain lawful status, and your green card holder, for the purpose of the U.S. immigration laws, you are not considered immediate relative. So that's how it works. Yeah, I guess we answered that one. Can someone apply for T visa if they have pending asylum case and they're undocumented? Yes, if the T visa is valid, if they have a valid T visa claim, yes, they can apply. So as long as both claims are valid, so pending asylum does not prevent a person from applying for anything else, as long as whatever they're applying is valid as a claim. my kids have overstayed. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, right? If your kid overstay, you can file I-130 alone, right, by itself. But the thing is, are they going to be able to adjust status? The answer is no, because of failure to maintain lawful status, and because of the fact that you are a green card holder, it does not forgive unlawful presence. So usually, what people will do, as I said, they will file I-130 just to like, and then in the system they'll put adjustment of, they're gonna adjust status here, and then when the I-130 is gonna be approved, they wait until when you're gonna become a U.S. citizen. That's when they're gonna file their green card. It's just like to buy time. But the thing is, now with Trump coming back to power, if they're not in the system, you don't want to put them in the system, right? Because you don't know, you don't want them to be subject to removal if things go south. They want the house as well. Oh my, we're done. They want the house as well. I thought they want only the Senate. I thought they want the Senate. Can't believe this nonsense. If they want the house, then they're gonna be passing a lot of bills. But we just have. But if it's a executive order, just know that it's gonna be challenged in court. So if it get challenged in court, now we have 50% chance of it not standing. So, and some laws too, even Republican are not obligated to sign off on them anyway. So if the law don't make sense, they probably not gonna pass. But what the only thing he's gonna be able to do is the deportation thing, because he's gonna use the military, which is an executive power. Uh, how does one contact you if you need? You say, oh, let me give you the consultation link. Okay, I'm just gonna put the consultation link. I charge for consultation 175. I'm just gonna put it in the in the link so you can schedule it on your own time. So that's my consultation link right there. You can schedule it. I do Zoom consultation. Once we talk, then we will know what to do with your case. Do you think Trump will end PIP? PIP is in court. So the people who have power to end it is the judge, because that one came from executive order, right? Right now it's in court. The argument, they heard the argument yesterday, on November 5th. And remember that they have to lift the stay on it on November 8th. Once the stay has been lifted, because the argument was heard, we don't have a decision yet. So meanwhile, on November 8th, if they lift that injunction, the restriction on it, USCIS can still adjudicate those applications. And once those applications are already approved, it's not going to prevent anybody who has a approved PIP to adjust status. Then they cannot. That's what happened for the people who had their PIP approved already. So they were able to file for their green card, and they are going to be able to adjust status. Because some people got approved on the because it started on the 19th, and some people got approved on the 20th and 21st. Because on the 26th, that's where they put a stop on it. So now what's happening is that they're hearing arguments, okay? And then we're waiting for the decision from the judge at the federal court level. Once we get a decision, depending on what the decision is going to be, if it's negative, then some people is going to appeal. But meanwhile, the injunction are supposed to be lifted on the 8th, which is a good thing. So we are monitoring on the 8th. Probably going to come back if I heard something about it. If it's lifted, then USCIS will adjudicate some petition. Meanwhile, if a person is likely their case get approved on the 8th or on the 9th, of November, then they can file for the green card. If they're not in removal, they can just file directly for the green card and the work permit. So, and that at that point, nobody can stop them. So that's what's happening with that PIP. Let me drink water. Good morning, Anthony Bijoux. If your case is opening, you still be subject to removal? No, because if you're not in removal, you're not in removal. You become subject to removal if a person case gets denied. That's when they refer them to court. But if the case is pending with USCIS, you are not subject for removal. As a matter of fact, if Miss Silly, if you're trying to travel, now is the time to travel. I strongly suggest that you travel between now and December so that you can come back prior to Trump taking power, because it's going to be in full power on January 20th. So I want you to be back in the US already. Yeah, so I really want you, if you're going to have to go home, I really, please do it between now and December, so that really you should come back already, maybe by the end of this year. Yeah. So no. Trump is gonna deport somebody who has been order removed, because a lot of people have already been order removed before, but they never left. Those are the people Trump is going after, right? And then those are the main targets, okay? And then if the case gets denied, you go to court, you don't win in court. Of course, you have your right to appeal. And if the appeal doesn't work, then they can still deport a person. So those are the people that Trump are going after. And he's going after as well, if let's say you get caught in the midst of maybe they're looking for you by the police and you run away, committed a crime, and you're not in removal, but you committed a crime. Those are the people too. If you don't have any document, you're gonna be a target for deportation. I think Trump will make it way harder to get your citizen for green card holder and make it USCIS officer more strict, and guess it will take longer for hard background check. Yeah, it's going to be just the way it was on 2016. It's going to be a little bit challenging, but if the person meets the requirement, right, especially for citizenship, the requirements, the major thing is good moral character. That's where there's crime and stuff like that. If you meet the requirement, you will get it. You will get it because people got it in when he was in power. We had people who got it. I had somebody who actually was accused of voting, but then she really did not vote, and she withdrew the registrations. But we had to fight for that, to prove that she did not vote, and she got the citizenship. So, but the people who have hard time are the people who basically basically the people who, you know, misrepresentation, DUI, crime, stuff like that in the past 5 years preceding the application. Yeah, you're just not going to get it. Even under Biden, that was the case. So yeah, it's going to be hard, but not impossible. That's what I'm meant to say. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, I really want you to leave next month so you can come back before this guy come back to power. Because what happened is when we change presidency, like we change presidency, everybody changed. The moods of the people change. Even at the border, the CBP, the people who are inspecting, they have different type of mood. They don't really like. It's like they become like just like Trump. You know what I mean? It's just like it becomes more harder because the mood, even the officers, when you go to those interviews, you will see the tension, the hostility. You can feel it, right? So that's why we always advise people, when we change presidency, you have to look at the mood of the people to know how to react. So yeah, it's better you go now than to come back before he's actually in power. You know what I mean? So that would be better. Mm, okay. What else? We got 22 people in this live session. Please like, please share. Again, if anybody need a consultation with me, please schedule it. We still have 2 months. Anything can be done, especially with those PD requests. In Baltimore, they're doing it within 2 weeks. You should know whether they're going to accept or not. Just if you need a strategy on what to do exactly, stuff like that, you just please schedule your consultation, okay? That way you are at least properly advised on, the in and out, because we've been under Trump before. Okay, we know one thing or two about how to handle anything immigration related when it comes to Trump. So we always advise you, consultation is the best way to know where you stand, you're standing. Yeah, so what else? Yeah, if you have a question, please put in the comment. Please like, please share. Please share this video with your friends and family. I was supposed to be here at 6 p.m., but it's just too much for me, too hard. I'm just here. Okay. Can I apply for citizenship having a pending? No, no. The answer is no. That you were going to apply within 3 years if the I-7051 was already approved with the new policy, right? But it hasn't been approved yet. So no, in your case, 2 years. You have 2 more years to go. Yeah. So that's the short answer. Yeah, I'm trying to respond to someone when I'm talking. That's why. Okay. So anybody else? Do you have questions? What to expect? We already know what to expect, but we have specific questions where I can answer them when I'm live right now. And if you want to know Trump immigration plan, just watch from the beginning. That's where we started to talk about his plan and what exactly we think he's going to do when it comes to immigration. So someone have overstayed his F1 visa for over a year. Is she still eligible to file for asylum? So the question is, in order to file for asylum late, right? Because over a year, then it's like it's late because asylum has to be filed within 1 year, right? But then let's say you were within a lawful status. Now you're no longer within a lawful status. So the question becomes, can you still file after 1 year of being out of status? So the response is simple. Do you meet the requirement of the exceptions, the 1 year exception? That's the question you have to ask yourself. What are the exceptions? Exceptional circumstances that prevented you from applying, or change of circumstances. So change of circumstances can be changed in the country of origin. Something happened recently that now you find yourself eligible to apply, or something happened to yourself, but most importantly to the country, and you found yourself eligible to apply, or you couldn't because of exceptional circumstance. Maybe you were sick, seriously sick, that you couldn't physically apply, like fill out the form. That's exceptional circumstances. If you have a reason as to why you're applying late, then you can apply. Those examples are like sickness, something changed in the country, like, especially with those African countries, there's always some change in terms of government change. Somebody got into power, stuff like that, and now it's affecting your ability to return. That could be a reason, but you have to have a valid reason as to why you're applying late. If you don't have a valid reason, what's going to happen is you're going to find yourself in removal once it's denied with USCIS. Because you're gonna go to the interview, and interview, if you pass the interview and you pass the reason as to why you're applying late, then yes. If not, then it's going to be denied, and then you find yourself in removal. So that's why applying late, you will have to have a reason as to why you're applying late, a good and valid reason that can work. You're saying that if I have an approved I-751 and held my G grant for 3 years, I can apply for citizenship. Yes, that was the new policy under Biden. Yes. Um, because of abuse, right? The I-7, remember your I-751 is based on abuse. If it was approved, and then you have the green card for 3 years, now you can apply for U.S. citizenship. It was a change in policy under Biden. Yeah, because of the abuse. So, but not, but yeah, I don't know if Trump is going to maintain that policy. That's another problem of him, right? Is he going to maintain those other policy, or is going to go back? Another thing that could change with him too, the right to work. Remember with asylum under Trump, people were working. After 1 year, that's when you're eligible to apply for a work permit. But when Biden came back to power, he put the law back to where it's supposed to be, 150 days. Now that Trump is going to regain power, I don't know if he's going to go with his old rule for 1 year. Those are the things to consider too. That might change too. So, yeah. Yes, abuse. Yeah, that's right. That's the new policy under Biden. Yes. If the I-751 was approved, and then you have held that green card for 3 years, then yes, you could apply for U.S. citizenship. That was a new policy. But now we don't know anymore. If right now it's still working because the Biden policies are still in place. But once this Trump comes to power on January 20th, we don't know if that one is going to play out, how it's going to play out. We don't even know for asylum if it's going to stay at 150 days or it's going to go back to 1 year. Jesus, I can't even, you know what? I don't know what people were thinking when they're voting this time around. It's like, really? What are you thinking? Yeah, please like, please share. We got 30 people, 34 people in the house. I want to see 34 likes and shares because we want to reach people to help avoid any type of deportation, right? Stay outside of the radar for the next four. For the next past 4 years, right? Next coming 4 years, sorry. Yeah, I'm still here, right? We're trying to answer questions. I know it's not that easy, but we have to do what we can do. So just put your question when I'm available to answer those questions, so we can just try to answer those questions. On Instagram here, we don't have questions here. But on YouTube, we have a lot of questions. Maybe all the people from Instagram, they have to go to YouTube so I can answer their questions. What will happen now to PIP? For PIP, we are still waiting for the decision from the judge. Remember, yesterday there was a hearing. They heard argument yesterday, November 5th, on the day of the election. I don't know why, but anyway, they heard argument yesterday. So we're waiting for the decision of the argument that was heard yesterday. Meanwhile, on November 8th, they are going to basically they are going to what are they going to do? Meanwhile, on November 8th, they're going to lift that restriction according to the first order, not the first order, the last order of, I believe, of October something. That's what was said in that order from the judge, federal judge. On November 8th, they're gonna lift the stay that was on that PIP, which means that USCIS can adjudicate those petitions while we're still waiting for the decision. So we're waiting for the decision. Meanwhile, on November 8th, they have to lift that. If they haven't come with a decision, right, before November 8th, like between today and tomorrow, then on November 8th, they have to lift the restriction. Then to allow USCIS to adjudicate those petitions while we are still waiting for the decision. So that's where we stand currently. Just wait for November 8th to know if the restriction has been lifted. If it has been lifted, then USCIS will adjudicate pending applications. And if your application get approved, you can file right away for the Green Court if you're not in removal. Because if you're in removal, you still have to deal with ICE and stuff like that. But if you're not in removal, if it get approved, you can file directly. So what about marriage pending cases? What about them? They're still pending. Like, what about them? I don't understand the question. If the case is pending, you just wait for the decision, right? Nothing is affecting it because the case is just pending. I don't see anything affecting a pending case, especially those I-130, because marriage, people are still going to get married anyway, and they're still going to file for I-130. So and they're still going to be filing for I-130 petitions. So the question becomes, if you have a valid marriage, is it going to work? It's going to work if you have a valid marriage. If the person doesn't have a valid marriage, of course, even under Biden, it didn't work. So yeah, so we are still waiting for November 8th. Have Zuarez. Just wait for November 8th, and then we'll go from there. But meanwhile, if a decision comes, I'll let you know. And even if a decision comes negative, they're still gonna appeal because that's just how litigation works. So yeah. Okay. Whew. Yeah, today's tough. It's tough. I can feel it in my own tone of voice. I can feel it in the atmosphere. The energy is it's down. But it's what it is at this point. It's not like anything is gonna change. It's what it is. We just have to do what we can on our side. Okay. I guess this is it, right? So, folks, if you're here and you're not asking questions, I don't see the point of me. Oh, sorry. I've been sitting for a while now. If you're here and you're not asking your questions, I don't see a point for me staying here. We try our best to answer everybody's questions today. Meanwhile, if anybody, what we encourage you is to stay out of trouble, stay out of the police radar, stay out of trouble. Wrong place, wrong time. That's what gets people. Stay out of domestic violence, because that's when police get called, especially those domestic violence, when people start fighting, yelling, and the police get called. That's when they're still questioning who's here, who's that, what are you doing here, what is your status, stuff like that. Driving under influence of alcohol, that's a big one. A lot of people get caught into that, going to those parties, then leaving late, drunk, and even parties too. People fight there. When the fight, if a fight broke at the party, the police is gonna be called. And when the police get there, that's where they start questioning people. And under Trump, the police mood changes too. They become a little bit, arrogant and stuff like that. And that's how people get caught. So if you can avoid those type of things, especially if the person does not have a valid documentation, to avoid that type of thing, that's how you win. You stay out of trouble. We've been under Trump before, right? It's not like this is the first time, but this one is a little bit different because he's coming with revenge, because they keep taking him to court. So now he's coming with revenge. But still, we can survive it. It's 4 years. We can survive. We can do it. We can do it. Okay. Yes, we can. Yes, we can survive it. We've done it before. It's not first time. We can do it. As long as we stay out of trouble, we can be fine. Okay, this is it. We've been here for 1 hour. Thank you very much for showing up. We answer all your questions. Please like, please share. If you need a consultation, this is the time to do it. Especially now that the climate is changing, we know it's better to have proper advice before you file anything, because people always file, then come back later with a lot of mistakes and delays in the cases. It's best to file with advice than to file without. You can schedule a consultation by using the consultation link on my bio. I put it on the comment section as well. I'm going to put it again now. That way you have it in the description box. Consultation link is there. We do charge for consultation, of course. But again, if something comes up when it comes to PIP, if I get more strategies, I'll make videos. If we have a decision for the PIP, I'll come back to answer questions. If we, when I'll make another video for strategies on what to do, what not to do. We keep our heads up and then we can do it. Thank you very much.